I mean, a lot can happen to somebody in a year, right? Shit, my mom just bought a house from a guy. He just bought it a year ago, and now he's selling it. He has stage 4 cancer. You know, he bought this house, started fixing it up. You know what I'm saying? And within a year, he's already throwing it back on the market. You know what I'm saying? So you never know what's going to happen to somebody within, first year of them owning a property. And I always like to go and cap off under valuation, estimated value. So if I go in a market, like what's the Wayne County,
Detroit
median home price?
$1,000.
$1,000. So the typical home values in Wayne County is $134,198. Wow. Honestly thought it'd be a little bit higher than that. So I typically, stay at that number, or I'll round up to say, like, if it's at 135, I'll round up to 250, but I just what I'm trying to do is cut out those multi-million-dollar properties or whatever that's just not ever going to work as like a wholesale deal,
Right.
Or like some vacation homes that are out there that, are second homes that these people aren't motivated at all to sell. Estimated equity. I heard you mention earlier, Kevin, you like to do like a 30% at least. I mean, that's great. 30, 40%, somewhere around there. Even if they're not 100%, equity in their home, that still opens up, possibility for creative financing deals. So, so you can keep that pretty broad. Mortgage info, wanted to see, nothing here, but what I wanted to go back to is, right, so we've got vacant, pretty standard list here. And what you can start adding to, right, is, a second level of pain. How about we do, an active lien on the property? That could be a mechanics lien, a tax lien, I don't know, whatever type of lien. It has active lien, and I mean, you could even do has active bankruptcy. Well, something like that. What about has a divorce? I wonder if something like that would work.
Yep.
What happened? My results. My internet's bugging out.
There's one property.
Yeah, but as you see, we've cut that huge list that we had at one point, right? So now not only is it a vacant property, but now we've got a property with a lien attached to it. So that right there is two pretty, I would say, pretty motivated, levels of pain there, right? So, and I mean, yeah, you guys can, you get real creative with it. I know a lot of guys like to do, for instance, high equity, load that, and they'll like to do the absentee owners, so these are, potentially, landlords and potentially retired landlords. We take it, and those are with active liens. This is ones without. Goodness gracious, 77K. So, yeah, if something like that, I know for me would be way too big of a list, I would just start cutting that down, right? So maybe I would go into here and do maybe, 5 years of ownership, or again, make sure it has an active lien on it.
Right.
What's this?
Yeah, I guess if you really, it makes sense if you really maybe keep track of your type of list that you're pulling, so you can see, because there's like 1,000 different, I mean, there's thousands of lists,
right? So it's
numbers.
Right. And so you're right, Todd. So what's nice is, say we have these, say we want to go with this list, these unique properties, right? We select them all, and then we want to go and add to a list, right? And we can just create some new, say, Wayne County high equity. then we could save those properties onto that. Now, I'm not going to do that because, as you see, I don't even have that many saves left. But what I'll show you guys is once you save those, you'll get put over here into My Properties, and then you can click on whatever list it is, and it will tell you up here at the top, View List Filters, and it'll tell you, boom, what exact parameters you set for each list. So so that'll help you keep track. And then you name your list, Burton, high equity, all owner type, something like that, filtered out of state buyers, Genesee County, vacant tired landlords. And then you keep track of check out your list filters. So
do you only get so many a month?
Yeah, so PropStream, you get, let's go to the breakdown up here. It's 10,000 saved properties, and then 10,000 exported properties. So, saving it to a list, and then you can do 10,000 of those, and then you can take 10,000 of those off of PropStream, to get skip traced. You can pay more. I don't know if you guys knew this, but you can pay more for more records. So here you go.
You got a question
right here, 25,000 saved and export. So,
right. What's the difference with save and export? I don't get it.
So yeah, saving it is just like you save it under like as a marketing list, right? So like these are all saved properties under My Properties. So these are saved and stored, and then once you do that, I guess you could do it right here inside of PropStream. And I don't know if Kevin or Randy, have you guys done any skip tracing in PropStream?
I have not used it.
We started in the beginning, and then we ended up going to an external source.
Gotcha.
So we ended up we're just downloading the list and we're skip tracing it through another company.
The reviews weren't like all that for the PropStream skip tracing. Honestly, I kind of dug into that and it wasn't
working that well for us. So
yeah.
Who do you use, Randy?
I'm not sure on the name of it. I know it's one of the major ones that we do use.
Okay.
So I'd have to check into that.
I used Batch.
Yeah, Michael Heater, you guys should try, do a test. And, you get a big list, 1,500 or more. Try it out. Because Michael, he used to use Batch all the time, right, Michael?
Yeah, that's all I ever used.
And
a lot of our lists are 300 to 400, only like 300 to 400 at a time. And so we only do pretty much, we try to narrow it down as niche as possible, and then do 300 to 400 at a time, and then we'll skip trace them. So,
Right. I got you.
Yeah, that's great, Randy. And when you're doing lists like that, are you pulling from like multiple counties, I imagine, or?
So on some we go, we've done some where we'll do that same parameters on each county, and then some of them we'll do like an area, like we'll draw an area, because you can draw an area on this, as well.
Right.
And we'll kind of be like, okay, it's tri-county, but we're hitting just this portion, to kind of see where we want it to go,
Right.
Yeah, that is a really cool feature.
So Michael, let me be clear, because I'm confused just a little bit. So if you save one, are you able then to skip trace it externally?
Well, you got to save it and then you got to export it. So
so it's almost doing the same, right? It's very simple.
Yeah. To skip trace in PropStream, you still have to save the property, right? But you don't have to technically exit it. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Well, once you get skip trace, you're technically exporting it already anyways. So, because
gotcha.
I mean, essentially
way,
you're gonna get the exported file once you skip trace it, and you're gonna put it in your CRM.
Right. Gotcha.
So,
Yeah. So they go hand in hand. Like you're gonna save these properties, and then they're gonna get exported one way or another.
Right.
So,
then you export them, and then you get the numbers, and then you have to put it into Zencash. Is that what you do?
Yeah, that's right, for sure. And yeah, or whatever dialer you're using, or or CRM. Yeah, you'll get the CSV file, and then you just got to format it however your dialer accepts it.
Got it.
So,
Michael,
yeah, I mean, let's go back here.
Are you crushing through 10,000 of those in a month?
Yeah, pretty easily, especially if you get multiple cold callers. It's 10,000 is like at the least what you need.
Can I ask, like, out of that, like how much you would convert?
Yeah, man, and that was the crazy thing about that, right? Is, I had 4 cold callers, right? And I had all these leads going to them, and they were calling all these leads for me. And I wasn't consistently converting near as many leads as I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, be honest with you guys, I'm not 100% sure why. Well, I will tell you this. So I got rid of all my cold callers, right? And I referred them to another guy in Arizona. He started using them. He called me the other day and he said, "Hey man, I wanted to let you know that," because he was asking me, why are you getting rid of your cold callers? He's like, "Is there something wrong with them?" I said, "No, I don't think anything's wrong with them. I just think that I'm obviously doing something wrong." You know what I'm saying? I just told him that. I said, "You should be fine with them though." And he called me back. And long story short, what he told me is he found out through these callers that basically there was, of the 4, there was one guy who was like the main guy who had worked with me, and he referred me the other 3. He had basically convinced the other 3 of the people there to intentionally drop calls and not produce more than like 2 leads a day, just so he could kind of like outshine them. You know what I'm saying? And so he just felt like that my results were like very skewed in that kind of way, because he just felt like that I was being my results weren't maybe as accurate as maybe they should have been. So that was kind of interesting to hear from him. But I mean, my biggest months in business, which aren't like absolute huge months. So, but when I was doing between like 6 and 8 deals a month, it was, with, like just 2 cold calls. Yeah. And, 6 of my 8 deals would come from cold calling. Oof. So
can I ask, just
I'm still definitely
not to take you off on the VA tangent too far, but can I ask what kind of, like, how many calls per hour or per day that you would expect from the VA?
Well, and see, man, Kevin, here's another thing is I'm terrible at managing people, to be honest with you. I'm terrible, like I'm terrible at business, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really set good expectations.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Well, no, it's just being honest at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Because it's really just I was gonna show you guys. It's really just negligence, honestly, and just ignorance, and just doing the things I don't like to do. But I'll tell you this, like at 4 cold callers, they were making like over 500,000 calls in a month. So it gets really there's a lot of volume. But the thing is with like telemarketing though, is it is such a numbers game, because, and I was trying to pull up my dialer here to show you guys what I was talking about.
Hey, Michael, I got one thing to add. I heard something recently, and I thought it was a great idea. Um, you hire a cold caller from the Philippines, and you gotta figure out what you expect out of them, like so much a day or so much a week, and they pay them either $4 an hour, $6 an hour, or if they produce, they pay them $8 an hour. So let's say you want 10, or I don't know the number, but let's say you want 10 leads a week. Okay. And if they give you eight leads, you're paying them that week, you're going to pay them $6 an hour. If they give you 10 or more, you're going to pay them $8 an hour. If they give you under 8, whatever that number is, they're getting $4 an hour because they didn't do what they were supposed to do that week. You know, I thought it was a pretty good idea. Also, I know people that give them bonuses where they give them $100 anytime you close a deal. But, you know, if someone is getting $4 an hour and they do that for 2 weeks in a row, you better start looking for a new caller.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And they got to be qualified leads. And eventually you might hire someone that listens to their phone calls. That's all they do is listen to phone calls. You know, anything that was over 4 minutes or something like that. They listen to it, they critique it, and things like that. So just a couple ideas.
Yeah,
Is there any call
that.
recording?
I actually do that with my cold caller. Is for every deal that we close, we give her a $100 bonus. So if we got it from a cold call lead, okay, if we got it from her, and we close it, she gets $100 bonus. So that kind of gives her an incentive to give us good quality leads and kind of based on what we want, you know.
But what if she doesn't give you good quality leads? Like she only gives you 2 leads in a week. You're still paying her the same amount of money?
We're still paying her the hourly rate. We're not getting her she's not getting the bonus.
Right.
You know.
So what I'm trying to say is you give them like a real low amount. You'll see the difference. You know, give them, you know, if you don't produce that week, that means you pretty much took the week off. You know.
Yeah.
They got to produce.
Yeah, that's a great. I've never actually kind of heard it done that way, Todd. So that's an interesting way of doing it for sure. But yeah, I'll say this is, and you know, it's all just a learning experience at the end of the day, and this is definitely what I've taken away from it. When I do decide to start scaling back up again, you have to be a lot more hands-on. You know, you've got to set those you've got to set those in a week. You know, I mean, and it's kind of, you know, quality leads. Like the one expectation I told him, said, listen, guys, I don't want you guys submitting, because I would get on my Zen call in the next morning and I'd have like all these leads. I'm like, oh man, I'm super excited. But then I start going through all these leads, and you know, the majority of them, more than half, are just boo-boo leads that never should be submitted anyways. So I had to start telling them, I said, listen, guys, you know, I want quality over quantity from you guys, you know. But it got to a point where they weren't even producing 1 or 2 leads, you know what I'm saying, a day. And so it, yeah, you know, I really haven't cracked the code to it, to be honest with you. I mean, there's plenty of guys out there that do it, you know, and do it very successfully. You want to hear something crazy? I got rid of those cold callers, sent them over to my buddy in Arizona. That first week of having those cold callers, he locked up his biggest deal he's done yet, $30K assignment fee.
Oh, nice.
So it's like, I know. And so that was part of what he was calling me about. Right. So, but I think the key.
Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just saying is like, but you know, Kish is doing it the right way. I sent him 4 cold callers, right? He only hired 2 of them, and he actually got rid of 1 of them recently. So of the 4 he sent, he's only kept 1 because they all had to interview, and they all had to meet his certain expectations of what he wanted out of his cold callers. And he does, he does training with them. once a week. And I think he meets with them daily and then does training once a week. But what I'm saying is he's a lot more hands-on with me, and he's tracking these parameters, like how long their waiting mode or limbo mode, how their calls are taking. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So
he's coaching them. He's coaching them up. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's definitely doing it the right way.
Well, I thought you did a pretty good job, Michael. I know way better than me. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I think the next time I do it, I'm gonna give them like $3 an hour for shit, and then I'm gonna give them like $12 an hour if they hit a freaking killer ass goal. You know what I mean? And then something in between, because I don't mind paying $12 an hour, and they got to be qualified leads, no bullshit. And if it is bullshit, you got to call them out on it and train them about it. This is not a lead because of this, and this. This is what you should have said. This is how you should have did it. You know, stuff like that. So,
does that Zen call have recording on there, Michael?
It records any appointments that are set.
But not the phone calls themselves necessarily, or is that through your CRM that it's recording?
No, not every single phone call. You can listen live though through ZenCall.
Oh, okay.
Anyone that's on a live conversation, but the only recorded phone calls you get are the ones that set as appointments. So, you know, and you get the details of everything and stuff. So
there might be a way to do it, Michael, because a lot of people, that's all, they record every phone call.
My system does.
Typically, you could hook up to it to make it happen. I don't know, but I'm sure, because ZenCall is a pretty big company, or a bit pretty good, you know.
Man, you know, they might, you know, again, they might. And if they do, I just don't know how. Honest to God, because they, like you said, it's nice. It's a nice piece of software for sure. I've definitely been happy with it, but, yeah. So that was kind of a tangent.
Cool.
But,
you know, someone raised their hand. Abdul, how you doing, man? Sorry about that.
Good. How are you?
Great.
So, first time joining this like call on YouTube. I just started like diving into this wholesaling situation like a couple of weeks ago. Still trying to figure it out. And just my question would be like somebody just starting out in this. Any words of advice, I guess?
Yeah, what city, where are you at? Where are you located?
I'm located in Burton, Michigan.
Burton, Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, by Michael. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh yeah, man. You can come into the office anytime if you want. I would start driving for. How long have you lived in Burton? Have you lived there?
I've
been
living in. I just moved to Flint like last year, and then I moved to Burton around 6 months ago. So.
Gotcha. I would definitely get familiar with, you know, your city and Flint in general. I mean, you can't go wrong hopping in your car and driving for dollars. You know what I'm saying? Looking for these houses that look like they're in distress.
I did that for 2 days. Almost got like 50 houses that kind of fit the description for distress. So I'm trying to. My target is that once I have like 300 houses, then I'm gonna give them script trees and have a list, and then my plan is to have a text campaign instead of a cold calling one. So would you suggest that's a good way to go about it, or do you think the calling is better?
I've always, cold calling is going to be about the cheapest way to do it, especially when you're first starting out. I mean, texting is great. But especially with the whole new texting compliance laws and everything, delivery rates are going down. It's just a lot harder to get those texts to actually show up on the sellers' phones, But cold calling is never gonna go away. So I personally would do calling first. I would cold call everyone first and then maybe do a text campaign. But again, that's the thing about this business is it all works. You just got to be consistent with it,
Yeah.
But if you wanted to start with the texting, go for it.
All right.
But
So any
again,
other
I would prefer.
methods of marketing have work for you guys? Like, let's say for example, my partner and I, we own a store like right in Burton. So do you think like something we could set up over there, like pamphlets or cards or something, would they work in this kind of situation?
You own a store?
Man, you could put some.
A store.
What kind?
A liquor store, convenience store.
What I would do is every day I'd be wearing the same, I'd buy 12 shirts that say, I buy houses. I sell cheap houses. I mean, I'd have that every day. Get people talking to you all the time, everyone that comes in, cash fast, or, just like a bandit sign, but I'll be wearing it,
Sure. Right. Do you guys do this weekly or monthly or something, like the meeting?
Every week.
Every week, all right. And is it usually posted in the group?
Yeah, yep. And you could go to I posted it in the chat. You could go to my YouTube, Todd Vernon Chun, and we'll have some of all our meetings from, we have up there, most of them.
All right. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I'll definitely look that up. And I guess I'll, definitely talk to you guys in the next meeting, give you updates on how it's going again.
Hey, what's up, Richard?
Richard, you all right?
I definitely will visit Michael's office and definitely.
Yeah, let me. I'll drop the. I need to still drop my info in the chat, and I'll drop the
address,
our office address in the chat. It's right there on South Grand Traverse. So I mean, not far from Burton's. So, anyway, you can come in at any time, Abdul, and we would be happy to help you.
Also, Abdul, just to let you know, if you're waiting to, do those lists that you did, say you got 50 driving for dollars lists and you're waiting to get to 100 and you're waiting over a couple of months, time kills those leads, honestly. So I would try to get the 300 within a week or two and do whatever you can.
Yeah.
2 days. 2 days.
Yeah. 2 days, whatever. Yeah. Get as many as you can within that short amount of time, and then skip trace them and just get on the phone and start cold calling, because I had this one time when I was first starting out, we had this nice list and we thought it was a very nice list. And I held on to it for a month, trying to get everything going. And it's every other person I was calling, oh, we already sold that. We already sold it.
All right.
So time kills it all,
I used to work for someone, old-time salesman, and we used to telemarket. I used to knock on their doors, and I used to call, depending on the time of the year. And we used to sell mortgage, refinances, see if people want to refinance their house, or we'd sell home improvement. Okay. And it was never the list. You could give me any list, piece of shit list. It's you, it's not the list. So anytime someone complains about the list, it's just someone to blame, when you just got to blame yourself, and get better. You know what I mean? So it's all about, I'm telling you, it's, you could go through a list and I could make no leads off of it. And I could say, oh, that's a shitty list. And I could give the list to Michael Heater and he'll make 5 leads, the same list, and he'll make 5 leads. So it just depends. You just gotta, you know, everyone, no matter who you are, you get into a rut, and then you just got to stop and get back to basics. And, you know, so it happens to everybody. You know, that's
Coffees for
that's why
closers.
they always say go through those lists over and over and over again. You're going to catch people, you're going to be on your game, and you're going to catch people that want to sell or need to sell, not want to sell, they need to sell for whatever the reason. So anyway.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the help.
For sure. Full show. Well, thanks, Michael. I learned a lot about PropStream. I got it. I got to start using it, you know, for sure. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if we have any questions, but I mean, yeah, it's, you know, you just go in there, you tweak around with the filters, and, you know,